Welcome back for another episode of the RADelaide Summit podcast. This week's episode covers our silly seasons are in full swing. Current Norton KOM holder Chris Harper joins us. The local Adelaide crew also puts on a show up Norton Summit this week. And of course, there's always more, and come along for the ride.
Ruby opens up. Payment is back. It's time to do the business.
If you're new to the podcast and haven't listened before, each week we scour the Strava leaderboards, watching you do your efforts up Norton Summit and discuss them here on the podcast, whether you like it or not. There's a chance we might shame you. We promise not to name you personally, and the odds are high we'll probably shame ourselves because we're just not as fast as you. Look, at the end of the day, our goal is to encourage and celebrate everyone going up Adelaide's best hill climb, Norton Summit, and reaching their own goals. So with that, let's introduce ourselves. We are your Summiteers, Wang.
G'day.
Wah Hooligan.
Hey.
Chris.
G'day.
Hey, and I am Alex. Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners, to another RADelaide Summit podcast.
As always, we need to know what has been happening on and around the summit this week. Wah Hooligan, what have you been up to?
All right, so I guess we kickstart with Monday.
Yes.
Monday, I went to the dentist and got a fresh clean. Tuesday, we did the 200
Tuesday was
Krusty ride,
Krusties,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was actually my first Krusties Christmas Eve ride.
Very efficient way of doing 200Ks.
Yeah, it was very speedy.
A bit spicy at the end as well.
The end, oh my God, I was breathing hard.
Up Lonsdale Highway.
Yeah, and even going down the hill, I was like, oh, this is fast.
Got real
Bit
fast.
sketchy. But then we didn't stop there. We went back up Green Hill. You didn't come, Wang.
No, I went
You
Norton instead.
soft.
Yeah.
I went with I.
I did an extra 100k
You
on
did
the
an
end.
extra 100. No, very strong.
Yeah.
Strong. Yeah, and then
You did have a few tears at the top
I
of Green Hill,
cried
I
at the
heard.
top of Green Hill. I did. It was a bit too fast for me, Ivan. And I was like, I'll sit on the front. I'll make the pace steady. And then they came around me and I was like, well, I'm not going to drop now. So I got to the top and then, thank God, Donnie turned and he had some random friend from Mildura that probably thought I was weird as. I was like hyperventilating. I was dehydrated. And then lay at the top of the fountain of Norton for a while, had a good drink and recuperated. And then Wednesday was Christmas. That was a lovely day. It was actually quite low-key this year. Ivan, my partner, his family's from New Zealand, so we were at my mum's house and had my brother from Melbourne and his girlfriend and had my grandparents. So it was short, small and sweet, but lots of eating, lots of... I didn't drink so much.
You
but
probably
they had
earned
lots of
it after
drinking.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Then where are we? Thursday. Was it?
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. Did I? Shit. God, I have a memory of a fish. I feel like, did I take another day off or did I write? No, I did efforts. Oh, I felt strong.
Lots of sausages.
That's my favourite. No, I did some intervals after all the Christmas pud. Thought I better do some hard work.
What type of intervals do we have?
I just did some 2-minuters.
Yeah.
But, so they were pretty good. Hopefully helped with road nuts. And then Friday had a Rico. Saturday we did supers and it was wet, so wet and so cold. I didn't bring my rain jacket. Ivan was like, you don't need it.
Yeah, when it rained, it was like 10-degree drop. That.
It was so wet. And there was soap all over the road from oil or whatever. And then Sunday we did Sunday church. We did a nice Strath loop. Very fast Strath loop.
How was that chop going into Strath? That was pretty
That
fast.
was fun.
What's the name of that road?
Paris
Creek Road or whatever?
Creek to Strathalbyn, yeah.
Yeah.
But I got the men's com. So that was
She
good.
got the men's com.
I rolled you all.
We averaged 59.6.
Is that the roll down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
Going
nice
down
work.
there.
Yeah.
Good.
Big time. So,
Wow, nice one. And here we are.
Who's next?
Me.
Alex,
Well, I have done some writing, which has been nice. Had the work Christmas show, Luca Christmas show, and the Ashland Christmas show on the same day, and we went out for lunch, had a few beers, and then we went and did the tree climb.
Yep.
And so with my current sinus issues and a beer up heights,
No good.
the wobbles came in thick and fast. So on Green Hill Road, there's a big timber structure up in the middle of the trees. I'm like, and the wind's blowing, and I'm like, I don't know if I should be here.
Lucky they didn't breath, are you?
Yeah. So that was good. Got the uni student over here for a few weeks. He's been pumping out some Ks. We did a bit of an evening beachy on Friday night. We also had a super low-key Christmas, just literally chilled out and then made a roast for dinner. What else? Me and Super Cyclist stole his son's Christmas present because it was a drone and thought it was a great idea to try and fly it through the house. So we've collected most fragile items on the way through.
Oh, no.
Just taking out the light
Not the
fittings.
antiques.
Literally, we've been online like the last 2 days. Like, well, what drone should we buy next? Like,
Did the drone break?
no, we just crashed into everything.
Oh.
But they're so much fun. And I'll go out for a roll after we finish this evening.
You
About
got
it.
caught in the rain yesterday as well.
I did, yeah. Was driving with Miss Piggy. She turned off, came down Windy Point, and it was just yuck. Absolutely disgusting. I had white socks on. They are now
No,
grey.
actually, I went black to try and trick the bomb, but it didn't work. Yeah.
What about you, Wang?
Big week this week, obviously, with crusties and whatnot. So got in 1,130k this week, 34 hours. So pretty big week. So,
Chris looks impressed.
yeah, not at the speed that he rides at. But what did we do Monday? Just did 100k on Monday, and then we were up on Norton's doing some filming for the upcoming podcast competition that we're running over Tour Down Under. So then Tuesday was crusties, obviously. So did the normal crusties loop, and then went on and done the extras to get the 300.
There's just 3 of you this time?
Four of us, so myself, Lux, Jack Sloan, and Justin Evans. They're both junior guys. So
Did they get 300?
yeah, both of them got 300 as well. So, and then because I did 312 last year, I had to get the extra
330.
kilometre to go 313 this year. So
Now, just on Crusties, because I've been asking most people because I didn't go this year, how many people were on Crusties? Because I've heard from 100 to 300
yeah,
people.
not 300. It would have been over 100.
Yeah,
Do you reckon?
Yeah, but what was good this year is that
I wasn't there.
No, that upset me. So obviously the official meet time is 6 o'clock at the bottom, and then whatever pace they do, then you meet at the top. But a lot of people rolled on from the top, so they didn't have to do that descent down through Stirling
all together.
That was good.
Yeah.
And we didn't. The ones that rolled off earlier, we didn't actually catch until just before Meadows.
Okay.
So there was a smaller bunch going through that
right.
shitty road.
Kashi did say that when they rolled over the top, he didn't even say goodbye to everyone. It was like, clunk, 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 everyone's gone.
Yeah, so there was quite a few punches actually. So guys ended up doing the loop solo.
Yeah, I did see a few people that.
And we didn't do that last servo stop at Christie's this year either. They just kept belting through there.
I think kind of hang for that. Like.
Yeah, I was as well. But it wasn't that hot, so we didn't really need a top up there. So got spicy going up High Marsh Tiers. Brendan Davids was on the front just drilling it. And then going up Lonsdale, he got on the front again and just drilled it. I think there was only maybe 6 of us left at the top of Lonsdale. Tori being one of them, and Flora was one of them.
Hard. Flora's a bit of an
six other guys. So so then got in the 313, which was good. So Wednesday was obviously Christmas, so just a couple of hours in the morning, and then just had Christmas at Mum and Dad's. Everyone come there, so I didn't have to park my ass in a chair all day and didn't move. So then got on Zwift at night. Thursday they did the Wednesday Worlds on Boxing Day rather than obviously Christmas Day, so just rode down to Chop, met them. Friday, what did I do? I just went out with Benno and Curtis on Friday. We did a loop up around Harndorf. Saturday, rode down a Chop yesterday, got absolutely pissed on. Rode my old bike, black shoes, black socks, trying to hit the bomb, but it didn't work. So, I've never seen so much water coming down Norton's. There was fountains coming off the side of the road of the water.
It was low-key flooding.
Yeah. So, and then today we did our Strath Loop to church. So, and this week was also a big milestone for me. I joined the White Shoe Club. So I got rid of the black shoes finally and joined the White Shoe Club, and then they got wet today.
Oh.
So shout out to Nick from Ridertech as well. He done a fit on, set up my cleats as well. So thank you for that. So that's about it for me this week.
White Shoe Club. You should have let me dirty them the other day.
Yeah, you were trying to.
I was trying to run them over.
Yeah. So, what about yourself,
Chris, what have you been up to last week?
Well, all yours are a lot more descriptive than mine's going to be.
Run sleep.
I sort of train and then forget about it, so I couldn't tell you what I did on Monday. But no, this time of year is pretty, compared to the rest of the year for me, is pretty social.
Yep.
Obviously, being back in Australia.
Don't look social with all the comms that you're getting.
Yeah, having friends and family around, there's a lot more activity off the bike, catching up with people, and obviously Christmas and all that. So that's a big sort of focus. And
Yeah.
then, you know, fitting in, well, not really fitting in because I've got all day, but training around that. So, yeah,
What
pretty.
did you guys do for Christmas?
Ours is pretty quiet, actually. When I'm back here, I just stay up at my parents', and then just the siblings come around for dinner, and it's just a pretty chilled
Quite
one,
cute.
actually.
Like,
Yeah,
better
yeah,
spend
which
it
is
all day
nice.
driving around from
Yeah.
house
Yeah,
to house.
yeah. I think when we were younger, we used to do a lunch and a dinner as well, and it's just
just
too much.
cool
You're
down.
just tired from eating, which sounds stupid.
Because you're up in your parents are up in the hills, is that right?
Yeah, they're up in Aldgate,
Yeah,
so
nice.
yeah, good
Yeah.
part of the world to be in.
Yep. Coming back through that way this morning. Someone had a punny on Aldgate Valley Road, didn't they?
Oh yeah, JP.
Most
Today.
beautiful road in the world.
It's a nice road, that one. So, very good. Well, we do have some of our standard questions and questions from the listeners that we'll run through. So for all listeners, obviously you're a current pro cyclist with Jayco. Can you tell us a little bit about your bike, how the bike journey begun, and what got you to the level today?
How far back do you want me to go?
When did you start? What age did you start on the bike?
I think I got my first road bike when I was 17.
Okay.
Never ridden before that, but I'd always just been interested in endurance sports. Used to like watch marathons and that sort of stuff, so I used to run a little bit.
Yep.
But through school, I was pretty typical Aussie. Played footy in winter and
Yep. Cricket
in summer. Which when I was younger, my family, we used to be like pretty big into tennis, so
Okay.
I used to play a lot of tennis and then quit that. And then started cricket, which was basically just an excuse to play cricket and go and have beers with mates. So, I did that. And then probably when I was 17, got a road bike. And then pretty quickly after that, I think I went and did my first crit out at Regency Park when we used to race there.
Agency. Yeah.
I think I got lapped twice in E grade. And then, from there, I sort of just started riding a bit more. Got a little bit hooked on the idea of progressing up the grades and moved up pretty quick, I think, to C grade. And then maybe during one of the summer series, we used to do one in Lightsview, I think.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I raced out there, and then I got to like B grade, and then just the local bike shop up in Aldgate.
Yep.
Cam Bailey used to work there
Oh, okay.
a little bit part-time. So I got introduced to him by one of the mechanics there. Went out for a ride with him, which...
Who's this guy?
Yeah. I knew who he was at the time, and like I think at that time I was riding with our team was called Veneziano Blafari,
Oh, yeah.
which was run by Michael Slater. So I was riding with them, and then Matt Oakley knew Bailey quite well, and I'd chat to him a bit at local races, and then went out for a ride with Bailey, and then he invited Alex Edmondson on it. So obviously me at the time being some punter who can barely finish B grade, going out with Bailey and
Ed,
two of the strongest guys in Australia. It was and then I pretty much just became really good mates with them.
Yep.
Bailey sort of encouraged me to go and do a bit of NRS. Went and got my ass handed to me in NRS, and then from there I just kept progressing and turned pro eventually.
Right.
Very late.
So Benelong would have been your main team in NRS, was it?
No, so the first year what was it? I think we had the Swiss Wellness team, which is my parents. They own Swiss Wellness, and they sponsored a team.
Yep.
We were racing with them, and then I started racing with State of Matter, and then they had some things go on in the team, so I stopped racing with them halfway through the year.
Yep.
And then I went back to racing with Swiss Wellness, but didn't really race much that year. And then the year after that, I went to Iceaway Swiss Wellness. They had a sponsor pull out, so Mum and Dad sort of merged teams with them. I went there, and then I was with that team in different names since I turned pro.
Yeah, okay.
I think our teamie Frankosaurus Rex was also on that team.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Nice one. The all-important one, now that you are as fast as you are, what is your current Norton PB?
good question. 11 something.
11:00.
11:0.
Yeah.
11. There we go. You know better than me.
Well, you might not remember the day very well then. I think it was
We'll remember the day.
last. We had lunch with
We
you,
had lunch
actually,
with
and
you
then you went
first.
out and rolled
Oh, yeah?
with Norton KOM
Yeah.
We did that, the team launch down at JCO at West Beach.
last year.
And I think you went out
okay.
that afternoon.
No. I remember doing it. So I had to wake up pretty early.
Yeah.
I think this was the day before we started down under.
Yeah.
Because I had to go on a giant ride in the morning.
yeah.
And I wanted to go out and do my normal pre-race ride.
Yeah.
So I went and did that.
Monday.
Did a couple. Yeah, I think so. Did a couple efforts and then did the ride along the beach, which wasn't much of a pre-race ride, very social. And then I went to do another effort up Norton. And then I think I was just running late. We had to be at that Jayco thing.
Okay, yeah.
So I had to press on a little bit.
Just a bit.
So yeah.
Knock this one out.
Yeah.
And you were just on your, for all the listeners, you were just on your training bike, that training
I
wheels,
would have
training
been.
bike?
No, I would have been on race bike.
Race bike, okay.
I mean, still not. I mean, still carrying a bit more than what we do in a race,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, close enough to a race bike. I don't think anyone trains on training stuff anymore.
Everyone trains on race wheels.
Yeah,
Yeah, race tyres these
Yeah.
days, that's for sure. So 11 flat. And that's your quickest? You haven't gone under 11?
yeah, nah, never
Put
gone
that
under.
rumour to bed. There was a rumour going around that there is a sub 11 out there.
Oh, I'm sure someone could do it.
So,
Given it wasn't a great day for a PB up Northern
I
that
reckon
day.
it was a headwind that day as well.
Yeah, I mean, my ex-teammate, well, currently still my teammate, I think Yatesy's been up there in like a couple seconds slower than me, but he was on a training bike with
Okay.
a saddlebag on, so
Right.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
the sub 11 is possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I think you just need a good day.
Yeah.
And I mean, Norton's one of those ones where you could go out with a group and do it a lot faster. You get a good sit on Norton.
Yeah.
So, what's the greatest life achievement? Your greatest life achievement?
Or greatest down the bike. One of the two, yeah.
Being on this podcast?
Yeah.
No. Greatest life achievement. I don't know. I don't think there's one that stands out particularly. I guess there's lots of good achievements. I guess turning professional's a good one.
So how did that feel like when that first offer came through for a pro contract?
Yeah, good. I think the whole build up to it was, pretty nerve wracking. Or like before that as well, I was getting a bit older, probably to the point now where like, if you're 25 and thinking about turning pro, people would tell you you're an idiot. So I'd wanted to quit the year before anyway, just because I'd had enough. And I sort of got talked out of it by our director at the time, Andrew Christie Johnson. And we sort of just made a bit of a plan from, I think it was like October the previous year, all the way up until I would have gone to Europe and done races. And the focus was just to go to Europe. There was like one race in particular, which was pretty much whoever won this race got a pro contract.
Yeah.
So the big goal was to go to Europe, try to do well in this race, get a pro contract, and if it didn't work out, I was coming back to Australia and getting a real job.
Racking it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a hack team that you signed for. It was probably the world's biggest team at the time, Jumbo.
Yeah, they probably the year I signed for them, they were, I wouldn't say they were the biggest, but they were definitely had the most momentum.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was getting the offer from them, they were at the tour and they just won the team time trial, and Wout was sort of going really well, and I think Kreisberg ended up third in the race, so they'd sort of just got momentum. But that's the thing that attracted to me to them as well, was just speaking on the phone to the directors and the professionalism and what they were doing and how they were supporting the riders compared to chatting to other teams. It was quite evident that they're like really, having a good think about it. I think the only other team that everyone saw at the time that was as professional was Sky.
Sky, yeah.
Like they were sort of like the big dogs. But I hadn't spoken to anyone at Sky at the time.
Okay.
spoke to Yumbo and I thought they sounded good, and I could have gone to other teams as well, but Yumbo was the one that I wanted to go to, and as soon as they made an offer, I just said yes and went with that.
Good. What about the flip side of that? Have you ever had a really shit day on the bike?
I'm sure I have, but I mean, I don't know what I did on Monday, so I don't know. Worst day on the bike. What do you define as worse? Like,
maybe one of those days where you've missed your eating window or something like that, and you've just been...
I mean, that happens that regularly.
Yeah.
I'd get a bit too sad if I thought about all the worst days.
When your bike got pinched when you signed with Jumbo, was that in your first year as a pro?
Yeah, I hadn't even seen anyone in the team. They just sent the bike over to Australia, and I was just at a cafe in Mitcham catching up with a mate, and we were I was sitting like here, he would have been there, and then my bike was like where that vacuum is. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I was just like, where's my bike? And then we thought...
You've seen it, you could see it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Someone just... Yeah. Wow.
How did that phone call go? Like, it's just my new bike.
Yeah. Well, I was a bit more stressed about it and obviously felt terrible, and then the team were pretty good about it. Yeah. I had a couple directors call and they're like just sort of laughing about it, and they're like, oh, look, the team's not going to fold because your bike got stolen. Like, just chill out a little bit.
You did a last year one. Yeah. First year pro. Like, bike got stolen.
Oh, nice.
Who or what has been your biggest inspiration throughout your cycling journey? I've been Cam Bailey by the sounds of it.
Yeah, probably. Like, I don't know, everyone's got their idols of these already professional guys, but I never really... I mean, for sure, when I was growing up and riding, there were a couple guys that I idolised a little bit, but probably more so, like at the time, I probably idolised people that I trained with and was mates with just because you could see what they were doing.
Yep.
Bailey's probably not a great example of what they're doing because he did bugger all, but he was just
and still goes well.
Just that talented that he could get away with it. But I mean, like watching Edmo on the track get ready for Olympics and that sort of stuff, you could see how dedicated they were and how much they were putting into it. So I was always inspired by them, I guess, and then I think when I started watching cycling properly was obviously the Sky dominant years. So I always sort of looked up to Wiggo, Richie Port, just because he's an Aussie and also very good bike rider. Yep. Still
smashing.
Still
taking combat.
Yeah. Still think he's probably the greatest bike rider that didn't win a Grand Tour.
Yeah.
Not sure how it didn't happen, but yeah.
And how good's Pog? Like, obviously you raced against him in Grand Tours and that. Is he just that much better than anybody else?
Well, you don't need me to tell you that. I mean, he's obviously pretty incredible. I mean, he's incredible in the Grand Tours, but I think the most incredible thing about him is just how versatile he is. Mm. Like, I think Jonas is incredible, but then when you compare him and Pog, Jonas has never done what Pog's done in a one-day race.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible to be able to win Flanders and then get ready for the Tour de France and be as good.
Yeah.
The only rider that I think was also a bit there's probably a lot of riders that have been underrated, but I also think someone like Tom Dumoulin was underrated for how versatile he was.
Yep.
Like, super good in the Grand Tours. I think one year everyone was coming out and saying like how terrible Dumoulin's year had been, and he had just gone to the Giro, got second.
Yeah.
I think he got second or third in the Tour de France, and maybe won World's TT. And everyone's like, didn't win a Grand Tour, terrible year. I was like, what do you mean it's a bad season? Like, any other rider would be stoked with that. It's just because he won the Giro the year before, all of a sudden it's a failure. But,
Good.
Good. So you did say you can't remember what happened on Monday, but like in the heart of your training, what would a typical day like be for you in training?
I don't think there is a typical day, if you want an honest answer. Like, it just depends at the time of year, what I'm getting ready for.
Yep.
Obviously, this time of year is a little bit different to, say, getting ready for the Tour de France, especially where I am, what I'm doing. If I'm getting ready for the for the tour, I'm normally at altitude. Probably doing a lot more climbing or a lot longer climbing anyway. I wouldn't really say the hours change too much, but probably just the specificity in the intervals changes.
Okay.
I mean, there's no point going out and doing 40-minute climbs when you're going to go race in Perth with 2-minute climbs.
Yeah.
What would you do, like, hours-wise per week, sort of leading up to, let's say, the tour?
Probably the biggest week could be around 30 plus on the bike.
Yeah. Take that, Wayne.
Yeah, but that's at altitude. So
Yeah, but I mean, in general, hours probably have reduced. That old school mentality of more is better is sort of proven wrong. Just because you can, anyone can go out and ride a bike for 35 hours, but you can...
right. I can.
He's 26.
right here.
Yeah.
Just sitting here.
But I mean, depends what you're doing in the rides as well.
Yeah.
If you're going out every day training by yourself, you're constantly on the pedals, then 35 hours in terms of the amount of energy you're expending is a lot different to, other sorts of stuff.
Nice. So what about off the bike? What do you like to get up to?
Drink coffee.
How do you drink your coffee?
Any way possible.
in a drip.
Yeah. Slushy drip.
Filter, like making filter coffee, long black, anything cold in summer. Sometimes I'll have a milky coffee if I'm in the mood, but I drink that too quick, so it's not a very social drink for me. I need a long black to sit down and sit down and enjoy myself. And then probably just other normal things. Watch a bit of Netflix. Just went and bought a Nintendo today, so I'm going to go play Mario Kart later.
Nice.
Keep you busy.
Yeah.
Does any of the old sports still come to play? Like, do you watch any cricket or footy?
I was just watching the cricket before I
Anyway,
came here. I love Aussie summer just because come back from training, and not that I'm like fixated on the cricket, but it's good bit of background noise.
Yeah.
And same, like I love watching the Aussie Open when we're sort of at nationals or Tour Down Under.
Yeah.
I like watching sport in general, really.
Now, can you describe your thought process or emotions before a big race, and have you got any pre-race rituals?
Um,
You didn't mention a pre-ride the day before for
Yeah, I mean, probably it's changed throughout my career as well, just working out what works. before a race. I'm maybe a little bit special in the sense that I don't really... Well, I guess everyone's got their own thing, but for me, having an easy day the day before the race is probably the worst thing I could do. I need to go out, push on the pedals a bit.
Yep.
Do some good openers, otherwise I feel pretty blocked in the first day of the race. So also just depends like what the race is, what the goals are. If it's a day that I can get through feeling a little bit average, then I don't stress about it too much. But if I want to be sort of firing from day one, or it's an important day, then I'll do a pretty good ride.
So on a rest day in a Grandie, you'd be more so want to do hours rather than just sit in the hotel all day like some of the other guys?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I think this year I did sort of by accident, I ended up doing quite a long ride on the
get lost.
Yeah, trouble.
a little bit. Yeah, I ended up going for a little bit longer than I was meant to. But it worked out all right anyway. Like we hadn't really been going super hard before, and the day after ended up being ridiculously easy. So it was almost like a second rest day.
Yeah, okay.
We ended up doing that somewhere, didn't we? Ballarat?
Yeah.
Timmy, we got lost.
Yeah.
And danced for bloody 3 hours instead of...
Got on the main highway and couldn't get off. Yeah.
Oh, nice. What about favourite bike or group set? Is this the current ride, or have you had something that you miss or would like to get a dream build?
I don't know. I mean, I love the bike that I'm riding at the moment.
Latest and greatest tech.
Yeah. I think most of the top of the range bikes these days are pretty unreal. I don't think you could go wrong.
So you're on the Propel at the moment?
Yeah, I train. Well, I pretty much ride most of the time on the Propel.
Yeah.
For a little bit in Andorra, I took the TCR home just
Yep.
because it's pretty comfortable on the climbs.
Yep.
But in general, I almost never ride the TCR.
It's almost gone back that way, back to the aero bikes, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, the tough thing about, not tough, but the great thing about the Giant as well is the Propel's already so light.
Yeah.
For an aero bike, it's pretty unreal. Whereas when I was at Jumbo, we would swap quite a bit between the S and the R,
Yep.
just to save a bit of weight. But even then, they were encouraging us to do most of the days on the S5 just because the advantages of being on the aero bike, even at the speeds that we're doing 5% climbs, we're actually saving quite a lot more than what you'd think in your head anyway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's cool.
So are you a breakfast eater? If so, what's your go-to?
Yeah, definitely. Who doesn't eat breakfast?
Lots of people.
Yeah, I'm a big breakfast eater. At the moment, I'm pretty addicted to smoothie bowls, so
Okay.
probably have a smoothie bowl with granola and that every day. Otherwise, yeah, maybe overnight oats. I like that as well. Went through a phase where I smashed pancakes.
So just a bit of everything.
I probably get fixated on one thing,
Yeah.
abuse that for 2 weeks, and then get sick of it and don't have it for 2 months and move on.
And do you have a favourite cheat meal? Zinger burger, good or bad?
I don't have I wouldn't say I have a cheat meal because I train enough to eat whatever I want. I haven't had a zinger burger since I was about 14, so I can't give you a good answer there. I remember them being good after a day of cricket. So no, I'm not sure. But no, I mean, favourite meal. If I'm in Italy and I'm not at a race and can go out for a pizza, that's about as good as it gets for me.
Yeah. Are you more pasta or rice for carbs pre-race?
Rice.
Yeah.
I'd stay away from gluten a little bit when I'm racing just because I feel a bit better.
Yep.
But yeah, for me, race modes, rice.
Rice.
Yeah,
Rice
a lot of
is
rice and rice.
All right, and we've also got a couple of questions from Instagram from our listeners. So, young Gussie, Angus Miller, he's asked if he can have a sit going up Norton. So,
Sit going up Norton.
can you
Yeah,
pace
sure.
him?
Yeah. Can I pace him?
Gussie's pushing out. What did he do yesterday? 11:35 up Norton.
He did a 11:36.
11:36. He'd done a PB yesterday, so
Well, he doesn't need me anyway.
he wants to get down to that sub 11:30. So
Wait, is a group of them went up there yesterday?
Yeah.
yeah, Saturday Supers bunch. They were all
So,
Come out and show them more how it's done.
so they call PBs drafting.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There we go. All comes out now.
Before your PB was in 2 down under, so you'd be the only one who's gone up there actually solo.
Yeah. Me, Yatesy.
And you and Yates.
Yeah.
Apart from that, all of
So
them would be
Yates
race.
doesn't count because he was behind him.
Yeah. Pardon?
Did you do that on the same day?
No. Yatesy had flown. He flew down to Australia pretty early to get ready for Down Under,
Yeah.
and he went out there and had a crack.
Because I don't reckon he put that ride public until you put yours up.
No, he didn't put it up, and then
Yeah.
I think we were joking around, came back, and I was like, "Oh, I think I got it." And then I had a look, and I'd gone, and he's like, "I'll put mine up as well."
Do you know how many times you've been up the summit and or the freeway?
How many times?
Yeah, like if you got a fair old crack up there.
I don't know how many times I would have been up. Probably a lot.
Lots. You have to be, surely.
Do you know?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No, I'd have no idea. Probably the freeway more than Norton, just because that's my
That's your climb.
way home every day.
Yeah.
No traffic. Chuck the headphones in and cruise
Pretty
home.
much, you've got Norton, you've got Freeway, you've got Green Hill, and you've got Monty. You've got all the main comms, haven't you?
Do you have Windy?
Windy. You got Windy into it, done under.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corky, you got to get Corky.
Yeah, I think that'll be a hard one because they did in the race.
Yeah.
I think anything that they raced up would probably be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
A couple of the best climbers in the
Haven't raced
world
up
with a...
They need to race up Green Hill.
Yeah,
with a
that'd be
pellet.
so.
Yeah. I always say we should have done Green Hill, finish at top of Lofty,
Finish at the top.
opposite,
That'd be
Yeah.
very
which would be a
fast.
cool stage, but
Yeah,
yeah, doesn't seem to happen.
getting the Stewie's head.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you'll go out and try crack the sub 11? Have another dig?
Probably not. I don't know. Never really.
The people want it. They want it.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really have training that's like
That's
go break a record. Like
Yeah.
it's, yeah, we did a little bit this year getting ready for the tour. We had one climb in Sierra that we were we were sort of just training by, like racing up the climb.
Yeah.
Not racing anyone, racing yourself really, but it was just like a full gas effort a couple times throughout a session.
Yep.
But it's pretty rare we do that. Most of it's pretty structured. Stick to these watts and stick to this amount of minutes. So
Yep.
if it fits in, then
100 for 10 minutes.
yeah, yeah. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Cool. What's your role for the TDU this year? Are you a support role, or are you GC, or are you...
We haven't really discussed it too much. I think our leader for GC will be. We've got our Swiss rider coming down, Mauro Schmidt.
Okay.
Down under's pretty good race for him, I'd say.
Yeah,
He's very good climber, but he's also quite fast.
Yep.
So yeah, I think he'll probably be the main leader in terms of GC, and then obviously Plappy and myself will sort of, I'd say we'll sort of be kept in the race, I'd imagine.
Yep.
Without still probably be able to race or have our own personal ambitions, but yeah, I think from what I've heard anyway, Mauro will be, as long as everything goes well in the lead up, he'll be the man. You never know. People come from Europe into 40 degrees. They can cook themselves. But yeah, normally we don't really discuss that until a couple of days before anyway. So
Yeah. I guess it'll also depend on what happens who's going well at Nationals as well.
well, not really. Doesn't change anything. Mauro's not going to be at Nationals,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and none of the guys we race are really going to be there. So
Yeah.
Nationals doesn't have much of a bearing on Down Under. But obviously in the team, the coaches are watching what everyone's doing, and
Yeah.
they'll get feedback who's going well, who's not. So
Not
if
many
someone's
start-
absolutely flying, then obviously we'll support them. Otherwise,
Not many starters for the Elite Road Race at Nats.
yeah, I've heard it's looking a bit miserable. Which
Are the entries closed?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like 46 starters.
In the boys or the
Yeah,
girls?
Boys.
I reckon the girls is more.
Yeah, might well.
Wow.
Yeah.
In elite.
Yeah. I guess.
Maybe because elite women and 23s go together. I don't know.
yeah,
Jeez.
It's a bit of a
Should be
problem
back
when
in
you put it
Buninyong.
so far away.
Yes.
Back to Buninyong.
yeah, yeah. I
Is
think
it too late for them to say back to Buninyong? Wouldn't say no.
yeah, it'll be interesting.
Now, from Oliver, we had a question. Why do you climb on the drops? I haven't noticed that you do, but...
Yeah, a few people have asked this. For me, it's more comfortable.
Okay.
Compared to the tops. It's just in my upper body, I don't get as fatigued in the
Yep.
drops. It feels a
Right.
bit more relaxed. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's just what feels a bit more natural.
Makes sense.
Nice. Do you want this one, Tori?
And this is from Tess. How do you plan your insane routes on the daily in Adelaide? P.S. You are gorgeous. From Tess.
I don't really plan anything.
You just wing it.
Yeah, normally just leave with a rough idea of where I'm gonna go, and then I'll normally get halfway through and be like, "That's stupid. I'm not doing that." I go somewhere else. So yeah, I don't really plan it unless it's like something where I'm doing a big loop that I sort of need to be conscious of not turning it into an 8-hour ride.
Yep.
But yeah, I think once you train enough around an area, you sort of know where it's going to be roughly the good amount of time. And yeah, I'm not sure how to reply to that last bit.
Thank you.
Need to just smile. Moving on, Troy. He's asked, does a hard training session come to mind, like a hard training
What's your hardest session?
What's your hardest session?
Hardest session. I think anything that's like very high intensity but short is quite taxing. Physically and mentally. Like if you're doing, I don't know, say 3 minutes full gas, something like that, it takes a while to recover from that. Compared to tempo or any of that. You can sort of just keep banging that out all day, whereas once you go full gas for a short amount of time for...
Knocking them off quickly.
Yeah. I used to do a session with my coach in Yumbo, which was like 30-second sprints, I think 3 every hour, and I just dreaded it. I mean, I'm
a normal ride, then hit out 3 by 30s.
Yeah, just like, as hard as you can go for 30 seconds. You're not really meant to pace it. So, you should...
Like, so it'll be a declining...
Yeah, for sure.
Right,
like, you go out hard and then by 20 seconds, you're like... your arms don't even work anymore and you like feel like you're going to crash. So, I think they're some of the worst. But I, thankfully, haven't had to do that for a long time. But, I think anything short, hard... that takes a long time to recover from is probably the worst.
Nice.
Last question. If you could either add Van der Poel, Wout van Aert or Pedersen to JK, who would you pick and why?
Wow.
Yep.
Probably a bit biased, but
say race with him before.
Yeah, I've raced with him.
Better.
I know him a little bit as a person, and he's a really good guy on and off the bike. So I think I'd like to be teammates with him again. But I don't really know Matthew or Mads very well, but I've also heard they're both very nice guys. So sure any of them wouldn't be a bad choice. Yeah,
sure.
Oh, good. Thank you for that.
Wait, can I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you're nervous. No. What's your favourite road in Adelaide? Do you have a
Favourite road used to be Aldgate Valley Road.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Who's got the women's come up
I don't know. Me?
We actually planned that whole segment.
I swear the men's is motor based.
Yeah.
Howie's got the men's.
Well, we're in the men's top 10.
Who's got it?
Lee Howard. I reckon he'd done it on
I think the track guys used to pace up there.
Yeah.
Gotten a lot busier now, though.
Such good
so
climb
many
there.
cars. Well, not so many, but more than they used to be. But it is a beautiful road.
Did it today. It was lovely.
Nice one. All right, some notable mentions. As Wang mentioned earlier, there was a little film crew and some mammals on Norton Summit the other day getting some footage. Obviously, on camera, we needed to be in the big chain ring and look like we weren't working, which was okay for Wang, but I was slowly dying on the inside.
That was your quickest time in 2 years.
I think it was. So that should be coming up on the socials.
Yeah,
soon
that'll be
with
up
the
on the
rest of
socials early in the new year, I think.
Podcast competition information.
Yep.
And not that this, I don't even know what this means. Wang told me to say.
I just told him to put it in.
Norton Summit has been added to the Zwift Climb portal.
Yes.
Explain.
So on Zwift, you can choose to do a climb, what they call a climb portal, where it will obviously have different climbs in there. Wollonga's on there at the moment. So now Norton's going to be added in there in the next week or so. And then
So a simulated version.
Simulated,
Right.
But I don't know how they've worked out the segment because it's an 8K segment on Zwift. It's going to be. So I don't know where they're going to finish it. It's not the correct segment. Yeah. I don't know whether they're going to finish it at Ashton or Anyway, so it'll be on Zwift shortly. So
Nice.
all right, so let's jump right into it. The main reason why we exist is let's see who's been spinning up the summit this week and check out the times for the folks who've been giving us a show. It might be the fast guys, it might be the slow ones, it may even be everyone in between. But like I said, we'll dive into their rides and data a little bit more robustly, and then we'll see who and what has caught our eyes on the leaderboard with some handpicked times for some fun and analysis. Now, Harps, you're going to take us through the fastest man and woman of the week.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, you can get quite a good group going up Norton Summit. This is exactly what happened this week. So you've got the fastest man there.
Yeah, fast. Well, I'm saying the fake name, aren't I?
Yeah, the fake name.
Fake name is Sornoff. Did it in 11:35.
He was on his new bike yesterday as well.
Oh, what did you get?
He's on the S5 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
right. They make one that small.
They did. On SRAM as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, and he took, 15, 14 seconds off of his old PB of 11:40.
I reckon he's had a quicker one in between there, maybe last week. But
I feel like every week they're going.
they've been going sub 12
so
comfortably
fast.
the last couple of weeks.
How many watts did he roll
with
out,
Nortons?
Chris?
435.
That
How
was
many watts did you roll out on the 11 flat?
Maybe like 420 or something. Yeah.
Sauna did a 10-minute PB power
Yeah,
call
right.
as well yesterday.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah.
And what about our top female for the week?
This is a bit
1351. Cactus. And
You can give other people a turn, Tori, okay?
which 313 watts. What did you do?
I did a 13:51. You can see there.
Oh, yeah.
Except look at my heart rate. I was very comfortable.
109. Chilling.
Yeah, I think my heart
109.
rate died today, so it was on its way out.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Hooligan, you actually have the men's bracket this week.
Awesome.
So carrying on from our Saundo time.
Where? Sorry. So, where do we start from? All right. So we've got Turkey Slapper doing an 11:36
Oh,
at
another PB.
yeah.
Yep.
Ooh,
He did like
Nice.
440, I think, roughly.
at 446 watts. Impressive.
190 beats per minute.
He was working.
I want to see these names. And then we've got the chicken. How do you say that?
Chicken burger
Burger connoisseur. 11:37. So okay.
Another PB for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, another PB. 431 watts. And then we've got Mr. Consistent.
Look at these.
Have a look at the watts that he pulled out.
11:47. Ooh, 494 watts. Does he have a heart rate?
No.
No, none of these guys have heart rates.
He's 6 watts off the magical 500. See if he can do it.
Jeez. Surely.
Sure, has to.
And then mitosis, 12:17 on
PB.
another PB. Damn. 412 watts. And then the love of my life, the beta. I did a 12:18. He didn't PB.
Oh.
And
No, he pulled
did-
hard at the start, though.
Yeah,
didn't
he did, and he popped me. 401 watts. Awesome work, boys.
Nice job. All right, the women this week, second fastest according to Strava. Wow, Hooligan. Also with a 13:51
What
at
was that, watts?
292 watts.
Big one.
Cruising.
Big watts, yeah. Second place, Savage Sweet Potato at 15:03. She's just 255 watts, 174 beats a minute. Microwavably unsafe. Did I see you guys went for a run the other day?
Me?
Yeah.
I haven't ran since winter.
No?
Not me.
A walk, maybe.
I went for a walk.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who that was. Yeah, we went for a hot girl walk.
She did a 15:44, which is not far off her PB of 15:25.
She could definitely get it.
Yeah.
I'll pace her.
Big Squid knocked a PB out with 16:32 at 228 watts. And then lastly, Ruby Red Flamingo rolled up there. It was after Chop, I think, the other day. No, maybe the day before. 245 watts for an 18 flat.
Good.
Who comes up with these nicknames?
Everyone. It's just
Everyone.
really- you should see the...
What's my nickname if I ever end up on the list?
I want to see if it's...
If you get a PB, you can change it. That's the rule.
So you got to go sub 11.
Okay.
Well,
Gotta go sub 11.
Nickname.
No,
What was my
no
nickname?
one.
I don't have a nickname.
No.
That's rough.
That is rough.
Yeah.
Maybe the listeners can
Yeah.
give us some inspo
Yeah.
for a nickname.
How does he not have a nickname?
Maybe because just everyone knows who the com holder of
Yeah.
it is.
It's all right. You don't need a nickname when you got the com. So
I'm going to change my Strava name now.
All right. Speaking of Norton, what is our day of the week to go up there?
well, we can ask Chris as well. What do you reckon the best wins for a Norton are?
Oh, I
Is
don't
it
know
no
anymore.
wind at all, or a bit of a
Yeah,
tailing?
probably you're better off having not much wind.
Yeah.
I think just because it shifts around that much and
Yeah.
it's pretty open, especially that top section.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you're probably better off having nothing.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah. That seems to be the general consensus. But Yeah, otherwise, probably the next best option for a PB is anything that's a westerly. So tomorrow, Monday, there's some southwesters, so that should give you a bit of a tailie on the switchies and a bit of a tailie on the straight sections as well. So go out and try and get a PB tomorrow.
Yeah, I definitely won't do that.
Monday's a day of rest.
Got another drum and bass gig tonight.
No.
Recovery tonight.
Oh, speaking of that, I forgot to mention. So we had a drum and bass gig last night in the entertainment centre. Drink selection was terrible. So we wound back the clock 20 years and we're drinking Smirnoff Double Blacks.
This is
so
why.
dangerous.
This is why you're grumpy today. Man,
Anyway, the week's ahead for cycling. So Adelaide Mountain Bike Club on Friday the 17th of January. That is round 1 of the XCC. That's at Eagle Mountain Bike Park. And then as the Two Down Under kicks off, Saturday the 18th and 19th, they've got the Paracycling Relay and Criterium. Mount Gambier are kicking off their track carnival on Sunday the 5th of Jan. That's at the Blue Lake Sports Park. NCC, Tuesday 7th of January, the Senior and Junior Criteriums. Well, Hooligan, how'd you go with your first B grade race the other day?
The first one I loved.
Yeah?
I felt part of it and felt like I could swap off the whole time. There was a breakaway though.
Yes.
But a few times I tried to go across and get the guys that I did know to come with, but it's just too hard and they just brought it back. But the next week when it was really windy, oh my God, it was so hard. But I got through.
That was thank you to Amber.
Yeah, Amber made it so hard. Amber, I reckon it's the first woman to win
female
a B grade.
B grade, I reckon.
I don't know. I feel like surely.
Yeah, I haven't seen any chicks win B grade before.
She's insane.
Yeah,
she did
she's
so
flying
well.
at the moment.
Nice work. And then moving on, Port Adelaide have got their motor pace track and road on Thursday the 9th of Jan. That's at Hanson Reserve. And for those that want to get involved, Port Adelaide run their Roller Frenzy in the Two and Under, Monday the 20th of January. And then lastly, South Coast Cycling, Monday 6th of Jan, any woman, any bike, and the junior training at the Edwardstown Velodrome.
So, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, and all creatures in between, we would love to thank our guest, Chris, for coming on the show. And if you,
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And if you listeners have enjoyed yourself, why don't you give us a follow through your favourite podcast app or access all our episodes through YouTube as well. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and
Ding.
hit the bell icon, and don't forget to tell all your friends and share it with everyone.
Yes, we're also all over the socials where we get updates, info, and let you know when new episodes are out, along with other podcast news and information. So keep an eye out for that competition information. And if you want to support the podcast, head to our Buy Me a Coffee page, and if you donate, you'll get a shout out on the podcast next week.
And we'd love your feedback and to know your thoughts. So hit us up. Let's have a chat through our Facebook, Instagram page, or shoot through an email to RADelaide@gmail.com. And with that,
So, 2 chickpeas were involved in a tragic incident where they were crushed. Police think it's homicide.
Jesus Christ.
We'll see you on the summit.
And Happy New Year. Have a safe Happy New Year, everybody.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.